I'm back. Rhodes Rants on Netflix. Today, I want to talk about a movie I literally just got done watching. Triple Frontier. It is a movie starring Ben Affleck, Oscar Isaac, Charlie Hunnam, Garrett Hedlund, and Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal and Oscar Isaacs are now part of the Star Wars family. Pedro being the Mandalorian and Oscar being Poe Dameron. This movie is about a group of former Special Forces soldiers that have decided to get together and pull off a heist on a Latin drug dealer. What I will tell you is this movie reminded me a lot of 80s and early 90s action movies, only with what you would consider to be a more stellar cast, probably. Oscar Isaac is a fantastic actor. I'm starting to believe that Lucasfilm, not to get on a Star Wars tangent, but Lucasfilm really missed the boat on making this guy a more prominent figure in the sequel trilogy. This guy's great. They decide to go rob a drug dealer in the jungle. And as with most of these movies, it does not turn out the way they hope. They find something in the neighborhood of, I believe, $250 million. Now, this is going to have some spoilers in it, so I would not watch if you want to see it. First of all, the movie is pedal to the metal, pure testosterone. I'm shocked that this movie got made in this day and time. It was a combination of there were elements of Zero Dark 30, elements of Lone Survivor. It was, it was a heist film. It was a film that pitted these gentlemen against the elements, both the jungle and the mountains. Does not go as planned. The soundtrack is fantastic. There is Metallica songs all over the place. I got to give the director a lot of credit for that. I appreciate that as a Metallica fan. It's not often that Metallica takes center stage in a motion picture. In this day and time, this kind of movie is refreshing. It was absolutely unapologetic. It was not politically correct. It was pedal to the floor action. During the heist itself, which lasts about 20 minutes from the time they get there to the end of the heist, there is a significant amount of anticipation, build up, intensity. You're just waiting for something to go wrong. I like this movie a great deal. I highly recommend it. A number of significant different angles this movie takes, from survival movie to army serviceman movie, or your special forces, your servicemen, what they have went through, what their lives look like after they serve, and why they sort of have to start looking at possibly doing things like robbing a drug dealer. Ben Affleck is a struggling real estate agent who it seems may have a bit of a drinking problem. I don't know that for sure, but It sort of nodded to tip in that direction. And I want to take a minute to give somebody in this film credit, because in several of his movies, he has just not been very good. And that's Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy. I was a big Sons of Anarchy fan, but he has not performed very well in other movies since leaving that TV series. He has not performed in a manner. I thought he was close to having to go back to television, in my opinion. What I will tell you is he needs to get away from these medieval roles and things like that. This was a very good showing from Charlie Hunnam. He did a good job in this movie. He held his own against three actors that have light years bigger acting chops in Oscar Isaac, Ben Affleck, and Pedro Pascal. But he was not overshadowed. You found yourself liking Charlie Hunnam, which is saying a lot, because since Sons of Anarchy, I haven't liked him in anything. This is a must-see. Respect for our servicemen and women. I suspect you will enjoy this movie. There are a number of different obstacles that these men will face in this movie. And again, it will not turn out like you think. Netflix, if Netflix continues to give us movies like this, they will eventually give theatrical runs a fight. This is a real movie. This is a real movie that should have and could have a theatrical release. My guess, if it would have been released theatrically, it probably would have grossed something like $50 or $60 million the first week. It is that impressive. It was a very well-made movie, put together, but it is a movie unlike we have seen in a long time, as it is, again, a more serious toned action movie that you would have seen in the 80s and the early 90s, which I believe there is a section of movie fans that have been starving for that for a long time. Except you have guys that have, a stronger acting prowess versus some of the action stars of that era. These guys are real actors, and they're putting in real effort, and they really brought it in a Netflix original movie. There's not much else I can say about the movie without sort of giving away too much. I don't want this movie to be ruined for people. I suspect the critics will hate this movie, and the audiences will like it a great deal. I also suspect if you're below the age of about 30, and you're sort of, I don't know how to say this, squeamish, and you don't like military movies, you don't like war movies, you don't like movies with a lot of testosterone, you will not like this movie. This is an unapologetic testosterone-filled movie, and it knows exactly what it is. It is highly entertaining. The entire heist inside the home, because they're racing against time, is so suspenseful, and it does such a good job of holding tension there. And it brings in all kinds of morality questions for these men, questioning what they've decided to do and the repercussions of what came with doing that. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Join the Road Squadron. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.